First of all, thank you for the 4 minutes. It's such a luxury after 30 seconds, 45 seconds. So I'm going to jump right into the money because that's the pressing issue, I think, the funding. And I want to talk about the worst kept secret in our, not just Jersey City public schools, but it's actually a statewide problem, and that is the inflated purchasing system. I brought a bit of show and tell with me today, which I'm not going to go into from here, but feel free to approach me after. And it so happens that any supplies that our schools purchase through the school purchasing system are, on average, 40%, 50% marked up. Okay, now, there could be a myriad of explanations to that, but the bottom line is this is how much money we're spending on things that could be, purchased at half the price on the free market. Okay, and if you just look at one tiny item on our proposed school budget for this year, that's called supplies and equipment, and it lists $11.5 million. Okay, and if you slice that in half, and if you imagine that you can save $5 million on the spot by using the free market as opposed to the marked up prices, you can save 100 teacher jobs, which average about $50,000 a year. Non-tenured teachers, which we almost lost last year due to funding shortage. Okay, so how can we solve that? How can we solve that easily? I've heard all sorts of answers saying, oh, it has to be done on the state level. Good luck changing the state statutes. Well, guess what? It can be changed. All we need is an active legislator, such as other candidates have mentioned, Assemblywoman McKnight, Senator Cunningham, who can totally take this on for us and save not just Jersey City public schools, but all the schools in the state, if you really, get going. So that's just one idea. Another idea, non-profit revenues, right? And something like the county schools currently, Hudson County schools, they use a foundation to fund their schools. And that's something that we use as parent councils throughout the city. Any parent council is potentially a nonprofit corporation supplying funds into the school using the free market strategies, purchasing the same items that the school may need, from chairs to desks to anything you can imagine, to projectors at half the price, or rather at the normal free market price as opposed to the inflated price, saving a lot of money. Okay, the donors choose that the teachers have taken to. Things like that. So it's totally doable, it's practical, it's out there. It's just a matter of us tapping into it and implementing through a policy, as others have mentioned, or just putting minds together and making it work for everybody. And parent engagement, which for me is a very real thing. That's something that I've been doing for the past 5 years, and I want to say that parents in the city are extremely active. And I want to speak on their behalf that their work needs to be acknowledged and their work needs to be facilitated, because there are a lot of parent counselors in this city who do a great deal, who raise thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars for their schools, but each time they hit walls of bureaucracy and red tape for no reason other than, there's no understanding, there's no guidelines. And we as a parent community, believe it or not, are already working on creating those guidelines. However, as a board member, I would be able to take it farther, and instead of just the guidelines, to create a policy protecting the work of parents and to create a true partnership between parent groups, the community, and the school district, thus saving money, facilitating the work of parent volunteers, and helping all students in this district. How much time do I have?
40 seconds.
Thank you. Wow, this is great. And finally, community partnerships. As an example of what Brian said, extracurricular programs, which are so essential. And there have been much discourse as to the recreation department wanting to step in and take upon those services. And teachers have risen up and saying that that will impair the relationships that coaches have with students. So we can't, bring in an outside group to do something like that. That's just an example. However, there are things that will not impair those relationships and can still save those programs. There are community partnership after-school activities that can be done through scholarships, through grants, and the community, the corporate community, is very willing to contribute those programs. Thank you.